Hey YouTube, JS here. Wanted to do an after action report for my fantastic time that I had recently out at Valor Ridge when I took the Rifleman1 class. They're in the foothills of Tennessee, nothing new there. You guys have all seen his videos. What made me pull the trigger and why Valor Ridge? One was proximity, and the other one, quite in all honesty, was the vibe that I got off of Reid Hendricks and his team from looking at his online videos, as well as the location. There's just something appealing about being in the mountains and the scenery and the way his range was laid out. I think that the range and the facilities being so new and modern, and then Reid's kind of style on Second Amendment and his historical views are refreshing and different. So that tipped the scale when I wanted to go big time on training in his direction in my specific case. Your mileage may vary, as they say. But just sure enough, just like his video, he gives 3 or 4 places to stay. You can go to Middlesboro, Kentucky, which is more kind of modern. There's Days Inn and Holiday Inns and restaurants and Cracker Barrels, all that. There's an older place kind of in a smaller town called Tazewell. One of the guys stayed in there. He said it's old but clean. And I chose to stay at the Cumberland Gap Inn. And historically, they say it was a meteorite hit that whole area, and it's got its own little rich history. So I kind of went up the night before, enjoyed it, and stayed one night after and enjoyed it. So Cumberland Gap Inn, real nice, clean, older. Lower your standards if you're all modern and stuff. Think country, rural, and just enjoy the scenery, and you'll be just fine. My hotel, I believe, was around $100 a night. In terms of getting to Valor Ridge, man, there's nice modern infrastructure. There's really not a lot of cars on the highway when I was driving around, and some of the back roads are scenic and what do you call it? Curvy. But some great stuff. GPS generally works. I had Sprint, got me very, very close. One of the other guys in the class said it got him fairly close, and then he saw the sign for Valor Ridge that we all see in the YouTube videos. All right, gates open up at 8:30. A lot of guys, these are white collar, blue collar guys. Everyone's showing up. Farmers, retired military, former officers, enlisted. Their military guys were on the lesser degree in my class makeup. And, there was electricians and linemen, and there was a father and son combo. So it's pulling and resonating with just grassroots across the U.S., just good, hardworking, honest, smart, intelligent people, wanting to get training and get an increased education and things about their history, and Second Amendment, things like that. All right, back to the gates. Don't be early. If you're one of these guys that shows up at 6 a.m., you're going to find out you're the only guy there. All right, don't be early. When they do open the gates around 8:30, I think it was JJ, one of the 2 instructors was there. He's a really cool dude. James is the other one. JJ's a former Illinois or Iowa state police officer. He had over 30 years of experience. He teaches the sniper and the long distance training and offsets and point of aim and the weather pattern and mountain valleys and windage and elevation. He's really cool to work with, and he's your spotter and just dials you right in. I had never been to a rifle class shooting long distance, and he gets you right in, man. You can be a total noob on that. As long as you know how to manipulate your gun, you're going to be just fine. All right? As long as you know the basics. All right? So, what else? So you get in there. You can roll in on a truck or a car. You get down to the nice facility. Everybody's there. You basically, your nerves are sitting in. You're getting a little jittery. You're trying to get your stuff in order. And believe me, you need to have all your ammo loaded the night before. All those basic stuff that they tell you. Have all your gear squared away, your food, your cooler, and all that. You basically get in. You take your stuff to your ammo and all that. You go to the shed or the the staging area where you kind of claim a space. You get your gear kind of transported. Then you hit the classroom, and what you notice is Reid standing there. They're all by the fire pit, and he personally greets you, just like they say, shakes your hand, says welcome, thanks for coming, introduces himself, and then you're off. The very first thing once you get set up is you hit your classroom time. All right, in the classroom, Reid basically kicks off the lecture in the first part of the morning, and it's all, in my case, it's about Rifleman, and basically it's Rifleman instills to the individual how to defend yourself and your loved ones with a rifle at distance. Whether you're a beginner or an expert alike, you're going to benefit from the information that he teaches over the 2 days. In the very beginning, obviously, he goes through all of the basics, right? The 4 rules of gun handling. Treat all guns as if they're loaded. Never let your muzzle cross anything that you aren't willing to destroy. Keep your finger off the trigger until your sights are on target and you're willing to shoot. And be sure of what's your target and, more importantly, what's beyond it, all right? In terms of Rifleman, the class itself, in the very beginning on day 1, you go over how to zero. You go over holdovers, point of aim, the kind of point of impact. After all, what are we doing? We're actually shooting chunks of lead at subsonic or near supersonic speeds downrange. So we're not playing paintball or simunitions or airsoft. We're in a dangerous sport, right? So safety comes to play, and there's a couple key factors. Most importantly, Valor Ridge teaches how to make it safe. And let me tell you, Reid, JJ, and James, they were on top of it in an instant. If anything remotely approached unsafe, they were on it, man, in an instant. And basically, it made everyone, specifically myself, you feel safe. These guys were on it. All right, so, if you see anything or you have any concern, I would say don't worry about it. Start with the pistol class, Rifleman1 or Pistol 1, and then go take your Rifleman1. Basically, if you can get in on any training, that's a subtext, because they're so full, and they're not like a body shop, as we say in the IT industry. People don't care about quality. They'll just put bodies in seats because they're trying to generate the income. From a firearms and training perspective, these guys are the same way. They're not into the body shop mentality. Valor Ridge has pretty good instructor to student ratios. Even though we were in a bigger class with 20 students, at any one time there was only 10 up, and there was 2 instructors for each 10. So that's 1-to-5 ratio, which is really good. Even on the distance shooting, they took the 10, divided it into 5. So at any one time, it was a 1-to-5 ratio, which is awesome. All right, so kind of zooming it back in on Rifleman. And hopefully I don't reveal too much of Reid's thunder. So if this is enough to whet your appetite, then stop here and just go register. But basically, proper attitude, application of marksmanship, shooting at distance. You go out to 300 meters, which is fantastic. So many guys were smiling. I never knew we could shoot that far. And it was fun just shooting 100 yards, because let's be honest, I'm more comfortable running and gunning. I always wanted to do some of the long distance stuff, and you get a chance to kind of do both here. But the main thing that I gotta say, the prevailing thing is, it's not about how many bullets you can go down range with Reid, and that's part of his style. Marksmanship, accuracy, slowing down. So if you're the guy that has to just slam mag after mag out, you're not. That's not for you. But then you're falling short if you think that way, because marksmanship is what counts. The ability to survive a deadly encounter efficiently, quickly, but accurately Isn't that what really counts at the end of the day? It is. Making your hits is what counts. All right. So what else did we do? We zeroed our rifle. You're already supposed to come with stuff zeroed. In my class, everybody had their stuff zeroed. Very minimal work there. So we all got zeroed in, and that allowed us to go right to the drills, which was cool. All right, everybody was properly set up. Hit the fundamentals of marksmanship. We did a little bit on loading the rifle. Again, as I spoke about earlier, it's not a big focus. Transition, stoppage clearances. Holy moly. Yours truly, a squid with an AK. I found that part, that was one of my first challenges, is clearance. What Reid does very well is he spends a lot of time, he will show you how to do it, shows the class, specifically talks about the different types of stoppages and things like that. In Reid's first lecture, where his teacher comes out and his passion comes out, is your ability, your willingness to utilize deadly force should the need arrive. That's a heavy, heavy topic, right? We've all thought about it. Sometimes we think about it and we gloss it over. Sometimes, we pull up short, or where it's a no-brainer, we're willing to go all the way. It depends on the scenario. Are you protecting your own life, your family's life? Is it a break-in? Is it a gray area? Is it a slam dunk? These are heavy, heavy topics. One of the other things that I like that Reid did is he gives you a lot of practical, real-world advice. Similar stuff that he's already done in his videos when he's, does his YouTube on his channel. Things like avoid firing the same round that you've always chambered. These are his personal philosophies and stuff, because, avoid lightweight ammo. He does a lot of, he shares what ammo he's had a good experience with, very specific brands. Obviously, I'm not going to share any of that, but if you take notes, he tells you for the AR guys, he gives 3 or 4 options. For the AK guys, he gives you options. That's kind of cool. Now, moving on. End of day 1, after, it was hot as hell too, man. It was like 90 degrees. We were sucking down water. He's got ice cold well or stream water. It was just fantastic. We were tearing that up, man. You needed it, man. We were all sweating. I felt like I was getting in shape, man, losing weight. It was a great thing. All right. What else? Oh, end of day 1. I know I'm glossing over a lot. What was really cool is the whole group goes out to dinner. And there may be some pictures already on his Facebook page, but bottom line is, I'm not going to reveal that either. It was just fantastic. We went to this cool spot. They do a great job. Reid comes up and mingles. The instructors sit, at different tables, and they mingle, and you can talk about. I was talking to James. He's a flight medic or flight RN in Kentucky or Tennessee. I think it's Kentucky, and seems like a pretty good business that he's working for. Very neat. They'll do for, I can't remember. Anyway, that they're in. Anyway, cool dude. You could talk to him about a lot of things. He's been in the industry a long time, James has, and he keeps it real. He's not about trinkets and accessories and all this stuff that we see on YouTube. You can ask him straight up advice, and good guy to get to know, and just pleasant conversationalist. All those guys were. That's something that's appealing and makes you want to come back. Moving on, day 2. This is what was really cool that I'd like to highlight. We did a law enforcement qualification, and man, it is cool. You've got to hit the target, and you can only miss so many shots before technically you'd fail. And I missed, I think I missed 6, but he said I passed. He actually said gold. So I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just artificially inflating that I did something cool. But I didn't have a lot of missed shots, which was real good. And I think we were shooting an 8-inch circle. That was a good hit. Anything outside of that, was not. It's fairly standard. Standing, kneeling, prone, supine, fetal position, presentation of your rifle. You go through the low ready, safety off, low ready position, just looking over your scope, but the muzzle's up, muzzle down, holdovers, and kind of back to my running and gunning kind of things that I like. The team drills on day 2, the bounding, the communication, the one-handed manipulation. Oh man, few of us struggled badly on that. Left-handed, different type 1, type 2, type 3, misfeeds and things like that. One of the things I had a problem with was actually holding my AK. I attribute it to the shorter stock and that very narrow stock Russian type of grip. I should have swapped that out. But when I was doing one-handed, strong arm, weak arm holding of the rifle at close range, maybe 5-10 yards out, I really struggled. I mean, my shoulder was sore. It was really starting to get tender, and I was trying to do the grips, but I was really fumbling a lot. Reid had to take me aside and show me definitely that it was doable. So I got some stuff to work on there, no doubt about it. I plan to put a bigger grip on there. But definitely, I know what I'm working on, and that's the whole point, right? I was like, training is training. Another one of my snafus was one time on the mags. We were picking up empty mags, and yours truly put one back in his chest rig. Oh God! I can't believe to tell you, man. I'm just taking it. The punishment happened. Freaking drill. I take an empty mag. I reload my AK with an empty mag. I'm doing it. I'm putting my own humiliation out there. And, James told me the same thing. And he's like, he goes, I like you, man, but oh, you're getting it for that one. I was like, hey, bring it on. That's why I'm training. A lesson learned. I'll do it once. It'll never happen again, believe me. So after that, you just throw your mags on the ground, man, till the drill is done. I wasn't using a dump pouch or anything like that. Anyway, lesson learned, and I'm cool with that. That's why we go to training, man. There are other sections of his class content that Reid goes through. If you want to know more, which you do, physiology and adrenaline and all that stuff, he covers all that, right, in much more detail. And then you just need to go on and take his class. One of the things also, there's never a good time to ask questions. So if you just can't be nervous, guys. If you're a note taker like me, some guys weren't taking notes, some would take some. I like to take a lot of notes, right? Put it right in the manual and scribble, and what I need to cover, stuff I can review when I got home. I'm a big time note taker. Anyway, I actually had a page, the last page of my manual, where I wrote my questions down. That way, at some point along the line, I could ask. Like one time I was talking to JJ, he wrote down, do they have any recommendations around if you have to defend yourself and take somebody's life, home invasion, whatever, carjacking, imminent danger, what does he recommend? UCAA, CCW safe, some local guy on retainer with a firm that's in your jurisdiction or in the city next to you or in your county, so he gave me some good advice. I thought it was solid. Overall, day 2 was fantastic. We had some rain come through, guys. It was very refreshing. It wasn't quite as hot. I think on day 1 we were got to be in the low to mid 90s. Day 2 we were probably in the high 80s, maybe mid 80s, with some rain and some cool down periods. The long distance shooting, the way they split the classes, one guys will be down, kind of the assault team down on the line. Another group will be doing the long distance shooting. Just fantastic. I used it as a break. If I was feeling a little more emotionally drained, I would kind of volunteer. My first class, I would kind of get in the group that was doing the assaulting, and the drills. Oh, and the barricades. Oh my God. That was one of the funnest things for me. These different shooting positions, you have no idea. Like these fetal positions, and as long as you don't tear up Reid's barricades, they are so happy. And the teamwork there, I really enjoyed the barricade work and the communications. And you don't be nervous, man. I just said, I just got a buddy and he became my partner, retired Air Force officer. So we just banded together, man, and just going through the drill, meeting that guy, and next thing you know, I'm spotting for him, when we kind of banded together, and I'm like left, short right, 6 inches right, on the distant shooting stuff. And it just is cool because you're interacting with your teammates and your other class participants. This is not a class where you just show up and don't talk to anybody. I promise, guys, if you're nervous and you're not a social guy or you don't have any friends, it's not like that here. It is kind of family. To get the most out of it, you just gotta push yourself out of your envelope, push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone. But man, people are so nice. I think that's also another thing why it's in Tennessee. And the people are nice, right? The people that show up are nice. And maybe that's just it. We're all like-minded Americans, trying to protect our family and do what's right. Reid, you can tell he's a man of the people and a man of strong moral conviction. He really believes in our history of our founding fathers and where the country's going. You're going to get your Second Amendment overview and more. He gives you cool things to read, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalist papers and different things like that. So I was scribbling my notes down on some stuff. Obviously, I can't read everything, but I am going to go ahead and or get a couple of the e-books if I can find them online. Lastly, we cover what is your purpose? How are you going to incorporate it? What are your takeaways into your personal life when you leave? It's not dogma. It's just expanding our horizons, appreciating different views. And isn't that what make the world go round? So we've got a lot of issues. It's an important time for us. We're going to see a lot of change in the future. So, we got to just band together, do what's right, preserve our freedoms and our liberties. Seriously, we really do. And, that includes supporting the Second Amendment and our right to defend ourselves. And as Reid would say, universal law or your natural, given rights to defend yourself, not have anything stripped away, that kind of stuff. It means something. So anyway, listen, guys, Reid's introducing new classes here as we wrap up. Of course, he gave us this really cool, as you guys can see here, it feels like it's on special paper. After the class, as I stepped away when I was talking with my wife and she was asking me what I thought about the class, I had time to reflect since then, and I'm going to tell you, I really feel like this piece of paper means something to me. This class resonated and really means something with me, and I'm going to hold on to this. Because I felt like I went through boot camp. I got some aches and pains, but I'm an old guy, man. Like I said in the beginning, a squid trying to use an AK. I left the AR at home. And it was funny, man, but I enjoyed it. Felt like I was in a great spot, great training, great people, and all I can say is, I'll be back. All right, folks. Hopefully you got a little bit out of that. And I just want to say, don't go out there without knee pads. Don't try to man up. You need knee pads. Man, I had rocks and twigs and bark and bruises underneath my knee pads. And there's no shame in my game. Next time, if you can see in my equipment video, I'm adding elbow pads. So, but also run slim. Don't be the guy that has the helmet and all this crap, because you're going to be stripping all that off, man. Think slim. Chest rig with 3 or 4 mags max. Gloves must. Slim, and knee pads. All right, guys, back to my signing out. JS, and I'm out of here. See ya. Certainly is beautiful. Tennessee's got some beautiful mountains.